everyone, welcome back to Storytime with Angi'O, the album version. And we've been talking about marriage. I released a song called Better or Worse, and it's about marriage vows. Today in studio, I have with me almost to be married when...
Soon.
Almost to be married when the man finds her and asks her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So right now she's single.
I like it too.
Aki. Yeah. And over here on my, which is my right and left, on my left.
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 You say left.
Yeah. On my left, it's my left.
Two left, yes.
On my left, we have Pastor Calvin and Pastor Samly, who've been married for 3 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
3 years. And they're joining us in studio today, and we're going to talk about marriage.
They're my pastors.
They're your pastors.
Yeah.
Hey.
Worship house, look, I love it.
Whoop, whoop. I bring you greetings from my husband,
Good doctor.
the good doctor, Pastor Emmanuel. We've been married 13 years. But
We
I
shall be
also
there.
bring you greetings from my pastor,
Hey.
Apostle Moses Mukisa.
Hey.
So it's awesome to be here. So we usually start this series on Better or Worse with a game called Who.
Who?
Right. Now, for demonstration purposes, we'll show you. Pastor Calvin and somebody have a card. One side for Pastor somebody has him. The other side has me. And the other side for Pastor Calvin has lift up, has her and me. So we'll be asking them questions, and then they're supposed to show us the answer. This is a trial run,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Trial 1, question 1. Who gets ready fastest in the morning? Wow! So,
No shock, is it?
It really isn't. But all right, so that's how the game will be.
Okay.
We hold the card like
Oh.
a bit higher. Okay. Okay, great. So here's the game. Who?
Okay.
Right, so who said I love you first?
I don't remember, but I think.
Do the answer that you think it is. It was you, eh? Of course it was you. As in, you have so much girls.
Birds of a feather. Birds of a feather flock
For the
together.
future.
No.
You want? No.
For the future.
No.
No.
Mercy for
For the
having so
future.
much.
For the future.
For the future, he'll
For the
say I
future.
love you first.
Yes.
Okay. Who is the
No,
better?
I think it was her. Babe, it was you.
No, it was not me.
Yes.
It was you.
You remember I was outside at your home?
I love it.
Yes,
Come
babe,
on.
it was
By
you.
the way,
It was that
not
evening.
Me.
It was that
It was
evening.
not
It
me.
was her. It was
Okay, okay.
definitely her.
So,
was
so
not-
for you,
There's a story.
it was her outside her home. For you, when did he say?
I don't remember.
So it
So
was
it's-
you.
Yeah, so it was you. I remember very well. It was December. It was December 23rd or 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember very
She's
well.
like, I love you.
I remember she said, but you know I like you.
I like you is different from I love you. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, if it's I like you, I said it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like, don't you know I like you? Is it like that?
It wasn't like that.
Like, dude, stop playing around. Don't you know I like you?
It was.
I'm waiting for the answer.
It was not like that. It was not like that. It was not like, don't you know? No.
It was like, don't you know?
It was like point of
Well, man, she chased me
information.
to the car and told
I
you.
chased you to the. Wow, this version of the story.
I love it so much. Okay. Who is the better gift giver? All right, you're in argument. Who is the better cook? Hands down. Like,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Who is funnier?
God, I wish I think it's me. I think it's me. No, I think it's me because Bambi, the still cracks be many from this side.
That's the
joke
happiness. That's the joke. That's the purpose of
It's
joking.
me.
It's okay. Everyone's answer is correct. Right. Who is more romantic? Aww.
Hands down.
Who is this one? Because he's a musician, she's a musician, and both of you are in music things. So let's see. Who is most likely to know song lyrics?
This is
We're
so funny.
wasting our
I
time,
like
really.
it so much.
I
Okay,
listen
this
to
one.
Music.
You listen to music, you don't listen to that.
That's his own lyrics.
Wow. The last one. Who is most likely to take the most selfies when you go out somewhere? You're in agreement. You're in agreement. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, guys, for playing with us. It was dope. So, yeah. Today we're talking about two becoming one. Okay. Genesis 1:24 says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Aki over here is totally stressed about the two becoming one thing.
Yep.
Because she's like, what did you tell me?
I said the thing that really, really stresses me about marriage, one of the things that stresses me about marriage is the thought that two become one. I have gotten so accustomed to my own space, my own time, my own way of doing things, my own this, my own that. Now, having somebody else
A third party.
come in.
Third.
Second party. Oh, third God. Okay. Yes, third God. He's a
Spirit.
spiritual man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so having a third party come in, and now it's no longer my time, but ours. I also having to, tell them I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This is like involve them in decisions, involve them in yeah.
So that stresses you.
Yeah.
I think these guys are the perfect couple because, yes, to talk about that, because both of them had their own lives properly before they got together. It wasn't the sort of thing of you've met when you're 20 and you have no plans. Both of them had, they're working, they're pretty serious. She's a planner, he's also a planner. Can you imagine? Yeah, everyone knows what they want to do by this time of their lives, and so here they are today, and they're married. Somehow, they've managed to become one. When they talk about one flesh here, it means many things, but today the idea we're talking about is a man leaves his father and mother.
Yes.
And, like two people who've been living separate lives, having to come together and live together. So I don't know if you can talk into it, Pastor Calvin and Pastor Samali. What does that mean financially? What does that mean spiritually? What does that mean even physically, having to do bedroom things? Don't have to talk about that, but one of you wants it more than the other, maybe in your plan. I don't know. Or even the fact that when the two of you got married, you were not pastors.
Right.
You see, and I suspect the pastor bag caught one of you before the other. Yes. I don't know that it happened at the same time. And so then what has it looked like? Because vision and purpose. There's somewhere you want to go, there's somewhere you want to go. Now you've come together. And I don't even know what the question is, but I'm sure as I was speaking, there are things that came to your mind. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about marriage, first off, we're really honored to be here. Super honored. We've been catching the releases, the snippets, and you're like,
One day.
One day, maybe
God,
the
where
next
are
album. So we're really honored to be here. So to becoming one, I think it's been a journey for sure, especially because I'm an early riser, and for her she starts to, like, literally starts to function after 10 p.m.
It's like,
for me, I mean, like, exhaust fumes, like, really, like, when the border guy kinds of thing, like, so, that's for me. I'm like, hey, babe, what? Let's watch a movie. I'm real guinea, make a border to just get the last bits of fuel. But for her, she's like alive. So really, when it comes to this topic, I would say it has been a journey. I would say she's more frugal. I like to, I think I'm happier when I have no money on me. If I can put it that way.
Like that.
Which is
make it rain.
Which is not a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's make it rain. So I would say when it comes to two people being like at really opposites, this is like one of them. But you know what they say, two opposites do attract. So what's been like coming together? I would say one of the things that have helped is, one, me realizing that at the end of the day, I'm accountable to my home, because as the man, I dictate how that goes. And that discussion happened early on in our marriage.
Early on in your marriage, so
Like,
this
let's
is
say
so you are
6
married
months.
already.
Yes.
What led to you having that discussion?
So I'm sure she remembers, because that day, I think she came and asked. We're having a discussion. When I say discussion, I mean a discussion. We're having a discussion, and I think the question was, or the rebuttal was, "Why did you marry me?" Right?
What a
And
discussion!
it was more like everything seems to be like, hey, change this, change that. Like, that kind of thing where you're communicating. And I was like, but I love you. Like, I said, like, how can you ask me that question? But it was because, when you come together, your expectations are totally different, right? You expect your husband to be like your dad, or the men that you've grown up
Or
seeing,
not.
or the opposite of that.
Yeah.
That's why you chose them, and then you have what you have. So it was a culmination of, and it was COVID, right? So COVID, like, you're literally in your space, only like two of you. Like, there's nothing like I've gone to work to, like, it was wake up, go to work
In the sitting room.
in the sitting room, you're in the bedroom, then lunch if it happens, like, like proper lunch. So we're talking, and it like culminated to that question, and I feel like that was because like, literally, we're just trying to figure ourselves out, like, where do we play, who does this, who does that, what are the rules, and I think one of the things that have helped is communication. Communication. Like you said, we're both planners. So she has a way she wants to do something. I also have a way I want to do something. And then that,
And
obviously...
you're both strong-headed.
Exactly. Precisely.
So how have you survived not burning the house with your plans? And, because usually when you have a planner, God has mercy on you and gives you someone who's like, okay, la, 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 But here you are, God has given you more mercy. And you're both strong-headed planners. So what happens in those scenarios? What happens?
I think it's a discussion, right?
Yeah, so what I realized early on is that I held, I grew up in a home where we are very different. we are similar but very different. So like everyone knows, okay, so this person likes doing this, so they'll let you do what you like. Everyone is given a pocket of space to express to express themselves, right? So I never felt the need to fight for things because they would let me, they would be like, okay, so-and-so is going to do this, somebody wants to do that, she will do that. They even like, oh, by the way, are you interested in doing it? Because of course they know you're interested. So like, would you like to do maybe this? Would you like to...
cutting cake.
Like my God. Like...
Cutting cake is your thing.
As
I love it. I
in-
hate cutting cake.
I
She
hate
can tackle
it
anyone.
when people cut cake badly like it. You know the thing
Yeah, I
where you
hate
cut-
when people cut cake badly, but I don't like cutting cake.
Yeah, anyway.
You want to
but-
cut the slices properly.
let's have a presentation that looks nice. You know, so my whole family knows like those things. They're like, oh, somebody that cake. Yeah, so small things. Anyway, so because of that, we had those. You know, we even did the marriage course, the marriage version course, and you know, you have all these discussions where I ask you, so which position is he in his family? What are the expectations because of that? And he's a firstborn.
Yeah.
So that comes with a lot of things. Now, one of the things that we have collided over a lot was the financially becoming one.
Whoa.
Now, because he's a firstborn, he has more responsibility to his family
Yes.
than I do to mine. Though I also still have responsibility because at our home we have like a specific amount of money that we contribute per month to, because our parents are retired. They are like at home. So there's a pool where we put money so that, you know, the home runs and, you know, people get paid and whatever. So he would tell me, okay, this is what we're doing. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing, so that's what we're doing. Now, in my planner mind, that is what we are doing. If you told me that we are contributing 300,000 to this, 400,000, or whatever amount of money, yeah, to particular things, when I'm playing it out in my mind for the next month, that's how it's going to be. Don't come now and tell me, now we're going to introduce another, I don't know, no, now, not that we're going to introduce. Oh, also I paid so-and-so. Where is it? It's not on the plan. Where does that come? Like, how does it even fit in now? Where do I put it? And the money has already gone. You get? As in, it's not even that I'm going to, like, the money has gone. And I would be so stressed. I'm like, why did we even bother to talk about it? Like, if you're going to stick to that plan, why did we even have that discussion? Like, I'm just so stressed. Then I was like, I think I'm becoming like those wives who, you know, Proverbs, where it says, nagging wife whether a guy even wants to go and sleep on the roof. Yeah. Like, I have become those women. I was so stressed. So what I decided to do is, like, for things where he feels very, very strongly about a thing, if I'm not going to die, like, I leave it.
And generally, there are not many decisions in marriage where you will die.
Yeah. you soon realize that, you know what?
That wisdom is too,
Yeah.
too deep.
Right. So you're like, well, the child is going to, oh, it's fine. Like, oh, the child has gone to school. There's food in the house. It's fine. We still have some money for food. Like, yeah, we haven't died. Because, as he said, for him, he's happy when all the money has gone. Then me, I'm like, okay, so now we need to go to church on Sunday. Fuel for the car. We, like, lunch, no Sunday lunch. You've been at church the whole day. No one's going to come home and cook.
Yeah.
You have to buy something. We shall get, like, then you realize, I want to die. Yeah, let me figure it out with what is available. So it's been, for me, it's been that thing of realizing, is this the hill I want to die on? No. Like, then you, So you win some, you lose some, you realize. Also, the thing I realized, I told myself quite early, was because I realized that I was very strongly opinionated about some things. You know, when you have that opportunity now to fight for a thing, and you're like, by the way, we are doing this thing. And then he's like, no, why don't we do it the other way? Because he has also planned it in his head. How he wants. And you're like, hey. So eventually I learned that, you know, there's always next month. There's always a new way to do it. His way is not bad. It's just his way.
I remember getting married. Growing up, we would sit at the table, knife and fork, eat your food, elbows of the table, I mean, proper. My husband, okay. Go pick the food. Sometimes it persists together, other things along goes. I mean, it was that sort of thing. You're not sitting at the table.
Yeah.
I remember having children and thinking, we must sit. Even just getting married, I'd be like, okay, I think maybe the first few months you didn't have a table.
So I did stress you. It was not an issue.
It wasn't maybe.
Yeah, we didn't. So it's a thing of, but in your mind, like when we get a dining table. But I remember thinking to myself, one time it was like an epiphany. I looked at his family, because you can end up thinking that the reason your family is the way it is, so nice and strong. You ate together
At the table.
at the table
Every day.
and every day. You understand? Then I looked and I realized that he has an awesome family.
And they did eat at the table.
Wow, what a shocking shock.
You know, that's one of the things I was like, you know, it doesn't mean that your way is the only right way or the only way. That's very helpful. Aki, how are you feeling right now about becoming? What are you hearing?
I'm hearing compromise.
Don't say compromise while you're shaking your head like it's such a bad thing.
I'm hearing compromise.
Correct?
I like what Pastor Samuel said of choose the hill you want to die on. And then also there's always next month. If your thing hasn't been done this month, it's next month. And then also the fact that simply because the other person has a different way, it's not necessarily a wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the dining table, even though they didn't sit at the dining table, they're still a strong, close-knit, happy family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm feeling a little...
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about majoring on the majors. So, for example, at my home, I mean, before you get married, you hear, and maybe you guys will say something about it.
Okay.
A family that prays together stays together. So, we would want to pray together, but in my head, as like the head of the home should be organizing these prayer times. Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes?
that's also in my head.
Aww.
It's a good expectation. It's the right expectation.
It's an expectation. So, you know, you're like, first of all, I mean, it's not a bad desire to want to pray. And if you're praying together, it's so dope. You know, it's not a bad thing. But I realize that for us, a family that prays stays together. We don't have to pray together.
Praise full stop.
I mean, I can count in these 13 years, we've prayed together maybe 6 times.
Yeah.
But generally, he prays alone. I pray alone, and it works like that. Because also he prays to different music, I pray to different music. He wants to do different things when he's praying. I also want to do different things
When you're praying.
when we're praying. I had to be okay with it. Because I was getting frustrated because I was putting an expectation on him. I'm like, I want us to pray together, but you must be the one initiating and leading it. And maybe he tried. Then at some point I was like, you know what, it's just causing strife.
Unnecessary.
Do you understand it? Yeah, and I mean that's that's one of the things. How do you guys do your praying, like spiritually? How do you?
It's actually like you were saying. Okay, maybe just something. When we were dating, he was going to worship service and I was not. I was going to a different church. So he kept saying, "Oh, come to my church." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come when we get married." Because I'm like, please. Changing churches, you know, the way it takes the life out of you, like, oh God. Yeah, so I was like, no, when we get married, I'll come. And so when I came, it was, of course, I used to visit. I used to visit at Bugolobi, then I would visit at Nalia, 2021, the crossover service. Like I would come for the big things, and it was good because then at least you're believing in the same direction.
Yeah.
So it's not like someone is, then the other one believes in other things, and it becomes a bit difficult. So when it comes to the together at home, we tried it.
Yes. Tell us about it.
We tried it, and it started being like as if a thing of, even now you don't even want to pray together.
Mercy Lord, I don't know who was saying that aspect even now.
I don't know, but
I think it stemmed really from the early rising, the late.
Yeah.
The late.
Like, what time should? Okay, let's agree on a time. Then I'm like, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. He's shutting down. Like, ooh, the laptop is, and you're like, okay. And it wasn't working because then he's leading the prayer, and then he's dozing because his clock is running. Or you're like, you get for him once we set over at like 3. I'm like, 3. You get like, so it was. We just had to do it like why that case. Yeah. Then I later discovered he likes praying to music where you have lyrics. I'm like, now I'm going to sing. No, now I'm singing a song.
Yeah. Yeah. I think those few times that we prayed like together, it has been with our kids. Like the first time they prayed in tongues, stuff like that. But so as we end, are you being helped?
We're ending.
Hey. Okay. Yeah. You can say more things. What can you give examples of things that you've had to do personally to allow oneness? For example, for me, I've had to allow my husband to, there are certain decisions where I've allowed that if he needs 2 weeks to think, he will think about it. If it's an opportunity and it passes, I'm like, it's okay. Like I've had to learn how to back down because, I'm like that. Go get her, what? And, he needs to think about it, options, and that can be, especially if you are a wife, you're like, husband, decide, husband, move faster, husband. But I'm like, God doesn't make mistakes. If he has called me to submit to this man, there's a reason that this man is my head, okay? Faster doesn't always mean better. So those are some of the things I've had to do to like trust. To trust. Another thing I've had to do for us to become one is I've realized that in our marriage, I deal with conflict better. So I reached a point in our marriage where I'd be like, look, if he has a problem with me, let him say it. Why must I be the one always, And then I started, I'm like, if I wait for him,
it will be 2 years later.
Yeah, it might be 5 years, then suddenly the mind is exploding. I'm like, this cup. So when I see that something is wrong, and sometimes I'm even the one in the wrong, I'm allowed to bring up the issue. I notice you're not what? I first used to quarrel. But what? I'll be like, what if I hadn't asked you? Yeah, so what if I hadn't asked you? Why are you going to keep that thing in your heart? And he's like, I wasn't going to talk about it. Then I'd say, but all your actions are showing that you're not okay. Yeah. I mean examples like that where I've had to allow that if there is anything wrong, I'm the one going to bring it up for there to be that. And also, just a few examples. Are there things you've had to do Yeah. Also, I'm very curious about that whole pastoring thing.
Hey,
So first answer that and then tell us.
what about the pastoring thing?
I don't know, you didn't get married as pastors.
Yes.
You'd both been serving
Yes.
churches, but you didn't get married as pastors. And I don't think you were too keen on becoming a church leader, I think, from just, but so how did that play out? Because you had different visions.
I feel like
and
you're
very-
asking
Yeah.
Pastor
You're asking
Samani
me?
to go first.
Yeah, because I suspect that he caught the bug before you.
Yes, he
I
did.
suspect he was
He
like,
did.
come on, let's do this new church. And here you are. When you married him, it wasn't in your plans, both of you. And you're all planners. And I'm like, now you entered this, So what was the journey like for you?
Okay, so for me, funny, we had a funny discussion in the car one time.
I thought you were going to leave it out.
And then you would bring it up. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so we had a discussion in the car one time. So I think it was...
You're going for pork.
You're going for pork. Did the pork float up and while this
It
discussion
happened.
killed
No, I
it?
think
Oh.
it was a drop back. What's it called? Drive-through.
Drive through.
Yeah, so I think it was about the time when we started the MC.
No, it was after. We actually came from a rehearsal.
Okay, very rehearsal.
From Bugolo.
I don't know.
So we're going home.
I'm a little fuzzy on the details of that day. But, so I asked him, because it had been a thing that I'd been thinking about for a while. Because like, the way this man is going, it might be those situations
Passing
where you find yourself as Muchala pastor before you know it. You know, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
You're like, sorry, what? Anyway, yeah, so I asked him, do you want to be a pastor? Like I asked, because I was like, okay. The trajectory was quite, when you're like, this is clear.
Yeah.
It looks a certain way. So yeah, I think that's where we're headed. So I asked him, and he was like, his answer was very political. Like, well, if it happens. And then I was like, okay. I'm like, but this is not that, like, we had plans.
Honestly.
Like, I'm like, yeah, but now if it happens, I can't say no to God. And so I sat there with myself. I usually tell people I have a board meeting with self.
Yeah.
You sit and you're like, okay, so this is a so what do you think?
These are the means.
Then myself says, Then me goes like, And then I says, I think we can do it. You get like that kind of thing. So I sat with my thoughts for a while, and I was like, okay. And by then I had just joined the worship team, trying to assimilate into the church. And then I was like, okay. We want to die, okay, we want to die. We start having those moments of, do pastors look like they're suffering? No, they don't look like they're suffering. It's doable, it's doable. Okay. Are there pastors who are they have their own jobs? And like, yeah. I really went into those things where I would go look at someone, like I would be there, very interested in people's lives, because I'm like, they're a pastor, they look happy. But is it just a look thing? Like, is it just like a surface? Where you're like, Then you just, get closer to them, ask some questions. You're like, okay, they seem okay. You're like, they seem fine. So slowly, I said warming up to the idea, because I think mostly, I don't like feeling like someone has pulled the rug from under me, and then you're like, hey, okay. And then you have to compose yourself in the moment. Then you have to pick like, okay. Do you have to make a speech? No speech? Okay, if there's no speech, we're fine. You know that kind of thing. And you're like, when nothing just happens to you. But so slowly, I think also because then I started getting closer to you, and you didn't look like you're suffering. You know that thing where I don't like bad life. Sense of suffering.
Bad life is not
I'm
good.
like,
Nobody.
no.
Nobody can like bad life.
Yeah, so I'm like, no, but she looks okay. She doesn't look like she's suffering, Because we've all heard of those pastors whose families are struggling because they are pastoring. But then when you come into the worship harvest space, there's a way pastoring is not doom and gloom.
So good.
Yeah, it's not doom and gloom. So for me, once my heart was okay with it, I was like, okay, okay, I think we can ease into it step by step. Then, of course, there was pastoring. Then I was like, okay. Then, like, so it has been a journey of once I get there mentally, I can get my other members to act into the thing, and, then fulfill the responsibilities that I expected of me. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So your heart had to be sort of like open to the to him, maybe to God also, to trust God.
Yeah, I had to trust God, because my husband can be very spontaneous and like in the heat of the moment, like, hey, let's go to Mbari, and you're like, hey, it's Friday, it's I don't know, almost 11, and then he's like, we have a thing tomorrow. No, we can go and come back. You've experienced that side of me. Like, okay, and come back. Like, it's not a big thing. And you're like, okay, how shall we go to make the thing tomorrow? Like, but then I had to tell God, like in that meeting of
your personal
body meeting, I had to tell God, God, now how do we? And there's a way, like after I laid out all the pros and cons and looked at all, there's a piece that came, and somehow it was like God was putting me on the shoulder and going like, it's okay,
it's all right,
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And also it helped that he was not putting me on pressure. Those things of you must then, because even when I joined the church, I didn't immediately join serving team or whatever. I first sat, observed, and he wasn't like, why don't you join? You can even come and maybe you can, hey. At first I even used to attend one service. Like I would come, I'd have to come to church on Sunday, because how do you not go to church on Sunday?
Indeed.
Anyway, I would feel like my mother was about to come and beat me. Like I can't. So I would come to church, but it wasn't like he was there saying, now which service are you attending? No. Like he allowed me to, I think, get comfortable with the idea without him putting me on pressure. Yeah. So I really appreciate you for that. And God really worked the work in my heart.
It is true. So, funnily, for me, I feel like my story starts right at the beginning. So, Pastor Somebody and I...
Like all stories.
Yeah, like all stories. Yeah, but there are different beginnings. So me, I'm like at the, Kuruberebe.
In 1986.
Yeah, in 1986. But Pastor Somebody and I, funny enough, went to the same school in O-level. And then we used to sing on the same...
worship team.
It was a worship team, contact fellowship. And then fast forward, I met her at... What hotel was that? Bativa Hotel. That's
Bativale. Bativa. Because it was at Bativa.
Yeah, so I met her at Bativa Hotel, and guess what? She was leading praise and worship. And I was like, like, I know this person. So while we're walking back, because I could picture, I know this person. So while we're walking back, I'm like, you don't know who I am really. I'm like, remind me, please. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is somebody, right? Because I had met in like forever. She was doing LDC at finished campus. So our friendship started afresh, right? So when I met her, like, we're both real serving. Actually, she was probably serving more than I was at the time, because she'd go for overnights for rehearsal. Because worship at the church we're going to at that time, the worship team would do overnight rehearsals.
Come on.
Like Friday into, was it Saturday into Sunday?
No, Friday into Saturday.
Yeah, Friday into Saturday. And then, so sometimes I'd drop her for the overnight and then come back and then go back home, or I find her there like on the next day, depending on what the church program was. So even in choice of wife, I was like, you know what, me, I really want to serve. Actually, the other day I was looking at our answers in the marriage prep course, and that was one of my things. Serving,
wow.
Right, ministering. So when that point came, like when we actually got married, and then I'm like, hey, what's happening? Like, I'm going to church. I'm like, yeah, I'll find you. I'm like, hey, mercy Lord. Yeah. I was like, mercy Lord. I thought people go to church together, right?
It's wrong.
Yeah, but luckily at that time, at that time I was doing HI, and was I doing HI then?
I think so.
I don't think so. It was 2021.
No, 2021.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was doing HI at that time, and we're doing levels of leadership, right? And then positional, permission. And one time I remember asking
You're like about
Apostle, I was
positional
like,
leadership.
oh, why? Apostle, how do you, really I was asking for, how do I lead at home, right? But I disguised it. I was like, you have to get to permission level. So I realized that at a certain, like, there are things that I need to, as you know, the head of the home, or there's a certain level I need to get to where it's not just someone doing things because I'm the husband, because she has my name. I was like, you know what, let her ease into it.
Yeah.
But because sometimes you really, really fight against the thing that is thrown or forced down on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you also don't want resentment in that sense. So luckily, I had some wisdom there. But it was a bit frustrating at the beginning, I must say. Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. So I think it was one time when I was like, hey, but babe, you know this thing of being a wife, you have to be a helper. Yeah, like you see, you help
I'm
me
surprised you're
organize
still
the
alive.
house.
I'm surprised you're still
You
alive.
understand?
After
Yeah.
that
Holy
comment.
Spirit.
My God.
We talk. So she's like,
Hey, you
okay,
have
so how
to-
can I help you?
Aww.
The worship
She's
team
so
at
full of
church.
grace.
Because I'd come back home and I'm like, and how's the worship? Those were the days we were struggling at
Yes,
Golovi. You
yeah,
remember,
yes.
everybody left COVID,
Yeah.
I just come back. You just be there, a bass guitar and an electric guitarist.
Yes.
And that's all you have.
Yeah.
And maybe a guitarist.
Yes.
And a
A
drummer.
drummer.
So it was really, really tough. So she'd come and give us, I feel like the singer should have done this. I feel like you guys should do this more. I'm like, why did you come and help us? Because I knew she could do it, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, luckily after some time, she took it on. I remember at the first rehearsal she announced, she said, guys, I'm only visiting. Like, don't get used to me being here.
Because people were like, so why are you singing? Why is I'm thinking?
But voice, what? Yeah, so
You know, you're like
I was
overwhelmed. I was
glad
like,
that,
you guys have just
that wisdom hit me and I didn't believe at that point.
Yeah.
So let's. I think the other question was on pastoring, right? Because quick. Let's again back to the beginning. So I feel like for me one of the biggest turning points in my life, and I've shared this severally with Prophet, is a point in 2018. No, 2016. Wow, the year 2016.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So 2016 was the time I actually went to Prophet's home and Rev M, and I was like, you guys, I'm looking for a church. It was more dramatic than that.
Yeah.
But
I remember.
my book is out. Hush. Mama's Forgiveness.
Come on, he's
Can I give Kalango? Please.
I wish you had the book and you hold it.
I literally wanted to bring it anyway. Hush Moments. It's out. We're actually graduating tomorrow.
Come on.
So that's a dope thing. But in that book,
Do
it
it
details.
again next year.
It details. Hamburger is coming. So it details a little bit of the state at which I was that led me to the penthouse, I-31.
Come on.
Yeah, and ever since then, because of the okulos generally, I was like, you know what, whatever these guys tell me to do, I will do it. It's the time when they say you look at the camera. Yeah, everybody needs a shepherd, I tell you.
Yeah.
So it was for me. It's one of my turning moments. So I went to them. They gave me an opportunity to serve. I wasn't playing anywhere at the time, so I started playing again. The worship team, 2016, they had just launched their church, maybe like 2 months before. It was like 1 month.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like around August. Was it August?
August.
Yeah.
August.
Yeah. So
August.
Hey.
So you're not going to win. Aki, let it go.
But it's August.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's why
Like
I'm
autumn. Do you
saying
say
that.
autumn? It's autumn. Autumn, August.
Yeah. I was about to give another example. Anyway, let's continue. So for me, even,
Automatic.
Right.
Automatic.
yeah. So for me, the journey or the pathway to becoming a pastor, really, I think with the lessons we've been learning under Apostle Moses' ministry, Worship Harvest, I feel like it was going to happen, right? It's just that when would it happen was the question, but it had to happen because that's literally every other sermon Apostle says we're all pastors. So for me in my head, I was like, it's going to happen, and because these guys are not leaving, I'm not leaving them anytime soon because really it was one of those things where you're bonded. What do they call
That's
it?
the word.
Yeah, you're bonded as people because literally they are just cool people. They're coolers. We used to play in a band
Together. Don't get my homework.
Yeah, just because we do homework in 2 minutes, just before we get on stage.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, 20 seconds. Yeah. So in 2020, November, when she asked me to start an MC, I said, yeah, I'll start. So when I got home and I was like, hey, babe, we're starting an MC. I was like, what? Like who? Like...
It was not in the plan.
It was not in the plan. Yeah, but as in, I mean, it's also good to be married to someone who is also, submitted in the same ministry, because otherwise it would be like a real cause of strife. And I know so many things happen because, Pastor Samali really looks up to Prophet. So I'm like, I should actually play that card more often. I'm about to enter your inbox. Prophet. But yeah, so I was like, hey man, Prophet told us to start an MC. I was like, yeah, so I got over that. So then first track, we're MC leaders, then we become coach shepherds, then we become zonal pastors. And then the good thing is when we're asked to be pastors, like proper pastors, she was there. Yeah, and I let her speak first because it was very overwhelming. So we have very busy jobs. I'm in IT. My time is really not my own. She's also hectically busy as a legal manager for a company that builds many power plants around the country. So our schedules are really not good at all. But what 2023 has taught me, because I started being on the online team and I thought that wouldn't fit at all.
The online team is worship. It's a worship team.
Yeah, it's a worship team. But it also is quite hectic because, imagine you're working with Prophet who's like really fast, and then you go to the person above her and you're like, Jesus in heaven. Like in 1 month you'll be in 5 countries and you don't even know how you got to any of them. Like how did we get here? What? You get anyway. So it was really fast. And then on top of that we're doing HI and
Harvest Institute,
School of Leadership.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've come to learn as a result of this year is that the pen is yours.
Yeah.
Like the pen to your story is literally yours. And I forget who said this, but your life is a platform. Was it who said? Was it Dr. Sempewa's book?
Probably.
Yeah. I think it was Dr. D, who says that your life is a platform, and it's basically the thing that testifies to everybody about who you are as a person. Like you can't fake being who you are, literally. So I just realized that, I've come to learn that, just like in marriage, you have to make it work, especially since divorce is not an option. But not only because of that, but because you owe it to, your children, you owe it to your parents, you owe it to God himself. You have to literally take the pen and be very, very intentional with, how you use your time.
Yeah.
So 2021, I had a go at HI. I didn't finish. School of Leadership. I didn't finish. So I was doing it again this time round, and the good thing is I did it with my
It's
wife.
so nice to do it with
Yeah,
people.
and I think
Yes, true.
literally, like when the films were gaming, she came like, let's go. You know, like when you're, because that's the period we became pastors. Because after Tusu, I was like, I have Tusu. I really went. Tusu is Dr. Tusubira's course, strategic leadership. So it's usually the one that knocks out people. But that one, I was like, I am here for
I
you
have
guys.
to finish.
I actually had a purple in Tusu. Eh?
Wow.
So yeah, it was
Well
a real, it was real grit. I was like, this year I'm not. So just like in nature, you know, the mantra says, you know, I'm taking back the pen. I'm writing my future, the future I want, the future I desire. So same thing with marriage. You know, you get annoyed today. You're not happy, you're not talking to each other, you have to turn it around.
You have to turn it around. Yeah, no one will turn it around for you.
Yeah. Apostle says,
You have to turn it around yourself. Yeah.
Apostle says, you know, strive for connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end of it, strive for connection. Like, you can't be the one saying, because he did this, because he did that. Like, you rightly said about, you know, how you came to the realization that if I don't start this conversation, it will not happen.
Yes.
So you're like, I will have to start.
Yes.
So striving for connection above everything, I think in marriage is really, really important.
Yeah.
And, you know, on a retreat just on Monday and Tuesday, and we're just there in a chair communicating.
Come on.
Right? And I feel like it was like long overdue, and I feel like, you know, it was just like 30 or 40 minutes discussion, but it gave us a new lease on, you know, how we're
That's
feeling
so
at that
nice.
time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just taking back the pen, knowing that everything that you see is a harvest.
Yeah.
Like, you have to sow the right seeds into everything is quite important.
Wow. Pastor Aki, what are you hearing in summary? Are you okay to become? You need to be okay with becoming one.
I think from what Pastor Calvin just shared, the thing that's coming to my mind is I have to, from what Pastor Calvin shared and what Pastor Somebody shared, the thing that I'm hearing is it's not about me.
No.
Okay, it's not about me.
Think about Jesus dying on the cross for things he didn't do.
Yeah.
Right.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it really isn't about me. I have to think about the other person. I have to think about other people.
Yeah.
Because just hearing what they're sharing, what you were sharing, sitting here, I'm learning from your marriages, from your stories. I'm learning. So it's your marriages are not just about the two of you. They're also for us. So yeah, the thing in my head is my marriage is not going to be about me. And also, it's not going to be just about me and my husband. It's also going to be for other people's things.
Yes. But also, you know, as we close, I think it's a lie from the enemy to that's selfishness.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like, it's actually such a dope thing to be able to merge dreams and finances. It's so dope.
Yeah.
It's so dope. I was telling Pastor Emma the other day, because those days I could go have, you know, I'll take myself out for lunch, go watch a movie. And I was saying him that I really, really like it, that it's a difficult thing for me to do. Like, I feel so lonely. I'm like, why am I here sitting alone?
Eating alone.
You know, like, not like I want, like, he's become so much a part of my life that it's so good. Yeah, it's not a thing you should be afraid of. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because sometimes you think you know what you want for your life until someone else comes into the picture and you realize that my life can take a totally new, amazing turn that God has brought two people together to improve
Yeah.
both your lives. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much, that Angi'O. Thank you so much.
I do feel
Okay.
yeah excited.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the oneness of marriage.
Yeah, it's a good thing. You don't have to think about decisions alone. You don't have to. I don't know. There's just so many good things. I'm so glad that I am not solo and wanting to think of things myself and my plan. It's so good. It's so good to plan around people, to have other people in your plans, to share money with someone, to share food, to share a bed. It's so good. Yeah.
That last one.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So maybe you're watching and you haven't yet made the decision to give your life to Christ. A lot of what happens in my marriage is because of the fact that I have God.
Yes. Yes.
I have Jesus and the Holy Spirit to give me strength, because I feel like marriage is one of those things where it's not by power, not by might,
Not at all.
but by the Spirit of God, where, we're sharing in one of the episodes that those vows that we make, for better, for worse, they are humanly impossible. For richer, for purer, they are humanly impossible. But with God, all things are possible. So I'm inviting you now. Maybe you're a married couple and you're not born again. I'm inviting you to make that decision. It's going to change your lives. It's going to change your marriages. It's going to change your marriage. Someone here, you're watching, the thing that you need in your marriage is Jesus. Your marriage is going to turn around. So if you'd like to get born again, wherever you are, I just want you to pause, take a minute.
Heavenly Father,
Thank you for your love for me.
thank you for your love for me.
Today I declare that I'm born again.
Today I declare that I'm born again.
Today I declare that you are my Savior.
Today I declare that you are my Savior.
Take my life
Take my life
and do something significant with it.
and do something significant with it.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
There's a number on the screen right now. If you have prayed that prayer, you are now born again. Please call that number. There's a pastor at the end of that line, ready to plug you into community, ready to connect you to a church if you don't have a church. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Storytime with Angi'O, the album version. Bye-bye.
Oh, we didn't tell them to subscribe.
Subscribe.